This thing working? I know this thing's working. What? I don't know how this thing works. Am I live? Does this mean I'm live? Is this... Is this working? No. Where are we? Where are we? Is this working? Yes. Why is it... So that... Oh, I see. Ah. Why is this not... What is this? I'm playing music, but it's not working. Oh. So why is that? Look at this. Is that the same source? Check. Hello. So that's not that. Oh, this is getting bad. Check. Okay. So that's just the same thing. Check. No. No. Yes, okay. I think I've set up a compressor, let me show you. Oh no. One. Yeah. Sidechaining the audio. So I can do this. Stop. it's not really obvious. It's tasteful. Tasteful compression. Oh, let me just can I share this? It's incredibly weird to hear your own voice back to you. This is new. How do I share this? Yes. Okay. Text it to myself. Why? I'll say this is grand. Please send this. Where are we? Let the boys know on the case. How's everybody doing? Jesus Christ. This. Hello. The input was tweaking. Yo. Yo, Sam S, what's going on? We got tunes, we got lighting, check this out. Got a royal creative lighting strategy, look at this. See the oh yeah, welcome to London. That's where I've been today. Gonna fade out this music. So, what is I am. See what I've been up to today. I just came back from Brick Lane. Why is this thing still good? Yeah, just came back from Brick Lane on a rather warm November day. Look at this. You see that? That's what a vocal booth looks like. Before you build it, of course. And it's a nice spot down there, like, you know, there's kind of the, we may already be too cool for that particular location. Hope it doesn't do a Soho on us. But, yeah, that's where I was, doing some business, putting things together. With bassman Rob. Some kind of delay on this. I'm seeing there's a massive latency. Look at that. Oof. So what? This what is this stream? What is this? It's the big question. Who am I speaking to? What is this? This is a stream. I'm streaming to my computer. I was gonna get a nice audio input here. Look at this. I was gonna be poking your ears with this one, with that. I was gonna do it in stereo, so there was one here and one there, and then I could sort of, you know, binaurally, well, not, you know, stereo, move around inside your head. But I didn't do that. So, you just get mono. Sorry about that. Because OBS is, like, one of the worst pieces of software in terms of... It doesn't even matter. It's working. We're here. Look at us. What else? What is this? I think the first question would be, what is music? Specifically, what is this music? The world, it seems to be going a little buck wild. They've got us writing manifestos. Check this out. I'll play them in a second. I want to play something I've been working on. Where is it? Project. This. Look how wild this is. This is. We're breaching new levels here. We have a manifesto which I have created. So we can do whatever this is. I think I'll start off with some references, because this kind of, I took a fair amount of influence from a movement called Fluxus, which I think you should look into because it's cool, and a fellow called udla1.1. Have a look at this guy. Where is he? Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this fine. Look at this gentleman. He's quite the character. A piece that stood out to me was the instruction for the piece was to draw a straight line and then see how far you can go. I think I'm paraphrasing here. So that's where about we are. So we'll raise a couple of questions. I might go through this at some point, but it's here, it's on the internet. I did some formatting because it was when you have this kind of thing, like it's being just a block of text like this is not going to work. So then even when I did have a block of text, I had to start wording things out, which just made it more confused, honestly, and it became less and less easy to see what I was even talking about or stay sane about it. Anyhow, what's the chat on? This is a humdinger. Oh, here we go. Aha, old man Redster. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to hear myself. You know what? I don't want to hear myself. I can't change that. Oh well. Let's poke around in what I was doing yesterday. Laptop fans are engaging. We're rapidly approaching takeoff. So, can you see this? Oh, my audio's not even. I know what I can do. Alright. Display capture. Ah! Look at that. Look how deep this goes. Okay. I wanna just bring that to the... Ooh. Ooh. Look at that. It's just called time travel. Okay. Oh, I've lost the chat again. Okay. Okay. Can you see this? Yeah. Tell me if you can't see this. Also, tell me how the audio is, because I have no idea if this thing is gonna hold up. Tell me if you can hear this. Is this thing working? Oh, excellent. My name's Jeb. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna poke around in this project. Basically, I made this on Sunday afternoon and then Monday afternoon, and it's now Tuesday. I would say evening. So it's been about 3 days. And yeah, I'm always up for collaboration, of course. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm just gonna let this thing play out. There you go. What are you thinking? I quite like this one. God damn, my audio is fried. I think Logic might be eating a little too much of the bandwidth. I'm liking this. Let's put that in the hole. Okay, well, man, it's been some fun times lately. Getting to make stuff like this all day. It's what you might call a humdinger, if you're so inclined. Let me make this a little bigger. Oh, okay, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not sure how long that piece has left to produce. I mean, it's only been probably about 6 or 8 hours so far, so there's always this this question, you know, part of you is ready to leave it as it is. You know, the what's the escapes I'm sorry, you know, there's always a part of you that knows it's ready right now, ready to play test, get it into out into beta. Yeah, I was wondering about that transition. I kind of like how clean it is though. Like it's gone from this electronic sound world just to literally an acoustic piano and a phone mic, and it's kind of symbolic. But yeah, the transition is. I might need to re-record it. You know the way. If Dylan was here, he would hopefully chime in with little game development tips for us. Anyhow, this one might be a little more open questions. Need to set up all these outputs. Send them all. Bus 5 and 6. There we go. Set it up. Hope it doesn't sound too whack. Right. Let me see if I can find a nice picture. Oh yes. Okay. Let me see that. So the question is, why am I streaming? The question is what, primarily. And the answer to the question is another question, which is why am I streaming? I'm streaming because I'm bored of everything, all the media that I've been consuming. I'm done. So I thought there would be ways to have a little more fun. So what I'm doing is I'm talking to my laptop, and it's on top of a plastic box, and I have some LED lights. I'm sitting in my room. And that was my plan to how to make the evening as fun as possible. Or as fun as it can be. So in that vein, I want to spread some high res fun times. The possibilities are endless. Okay. In fact, they are so endless that they are really quite limited, because I've run out of things to say. What else? Better to produce than to consume, yes. Yeah, I think, well, consume in what capacity? Like, I don't know if I'm going to consume anything. It's not really worth it. Like, in that manner. But, yeah. We can have all kinds of fun times. I mean, the aim is eventually I won't even have to listen to any other music because I've made so much. Oh, that's not true. In fact, you know what? I want to walk you through a couple of tracks. You should listen to 1.1 music for airports. This is some fantastic music. Sam, you'll know what I'm talking about. But a lot of tracks Senan recommended to me is this Idris Muhammad one. Um, that's really fine accompaniment. Basically, I'm trying a playlist here for stuff that you can just live to, because you could live to any music, but there's certain tracks which are, you might say, complementary, like some Alice Coltrane. It does not. Heaven could be like this, like this. What else? Steve Reich. This is a man who knows. Why am I in here? Look at this. Oh yeah. Let me take center stage here. That's not useful. Steve Reich is a man who knows. Probably too much. Maybe not enough. Boards of Canada, of course. This is a shout out to Aaron. What else? I mean, music history is littered with these people, who we can listen to them now through this kind of horribly warped medium. Like, I mean, Ravel knew the medium of recording. He was just about alive. And Skria, I don't know if Skria he probably knew. But if you go any older, they obviously recording had not yet been invented. So you move back to Bach or Haydn or anyone pre 1900. They don't even understand the concept of being on your own to listen to music, because you have, if you're on your own, you'd have to be performing the music. So you can really get quite confused when you listen to a recording of Haydn, like, what is this guy on about, in your headphones, because that's not how it was written. These composers had patrons, so they were sort of tied to a particular estate which was paying them, and they would they're paid literally to just churn out tunes for whichever guy is basically allowing them to live, and there was no alternative, there was nowhere else to go, really. Like, being freelance is not, I mean, you could be like a folk musician, I guess, but that's not really what being the composer was for. So we put together this, like, we put them in the same camp as let's say Eno, or Steve Reich, or even like or Britain, or someone like this. They're not. Of course, we're part of the same tradition, but we're not. We have a very different understanding of what it is that we are actually doing. Yeah, like music in the wrong context, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, it's like trying to, I don't know, put on DMB at in a church service. Although I think that should be done, to be fair. Anyhow, this also means we kind of put together a bit of a wrong view of what the pieces are even about. So I mean, we can relate a little more to this sort of impressionist stuff. But if we go back to, I don't know, let's say Haydn. Let me talk to you on a real level here. If we go back to like Haydn or Bach, then he wrote single pieces for single uses. Like Bach, the B minor Mass, which people trawl out for, they play it every year, every week. That was a piece which was played once. It was written to be played once. Can you? I mean, we can't even imagine what it would be like if our pop music was viewed in that way. I think it also means we stick our ideas onto them. We sort of feel like we can relate to them somehow. And when you look at their philosophy, you probably you'd probably have a lot to say. You probably have a lot to disagree with. Like, I mean, even not too long ago, Scriabin, um, he viewed himself as the savior of humanity. He, I think, genuinely believed that he was in the process of composing a piece when he died that would save us. It would cause the rapture or some kind of revolution. And then he and the other symbolists that would somehow tear down this sort of veil of tears. It would end material suffering, all of that, and they were going to save the planet. They were possibly the universe. I don't know if they were human centric or what, but I think we might have a lot to disagree with there. Like, do we think Scriabin saved the world, or would have saved it if he published that piece? Obviously, we can't know for sure, but I have a lot of questions. But all of these, all of the composers, they seem to hit upon a common nerve, which is we're all doing music, and in so many different formats. We're coming to I've come to a point now where I've made a lot more internal sense of it. What is music? What is it? What is it for? One of the things which seems to be fairly common throughout music history is emotion, having emotional, let's say, significance. So music can express emotions, and it can also evoke certain emotions. Like, I don't know, if you think of a really a happy piece, it might make you feel happy when you listen to it. Or a really agitated piece, you might feel anxious, you might feel sort of distraught listening to it. And I certainly, I sort of thought it might be something that transcends language. You might say that, but I think you might also not be quite right. Because if we say an emotion through language, as I've just done, I've just listed off happy, I've listed agitated. These still have emotional significance. You can kind of evoke or transmit a feeling through a word. So it's not that music transcends language, it's that language is an expression of music. I'm going to have to assume, I'm not a massively skilled anthropologist, but I'm just going to have to assume music probably came first, not as like I don't know what we might see it as today, but people were probably banging on stuff and making rhythms long before they had words to describe emotions, or either that or they evolved together in some way. But so this is quite, I feel like this is quite a fundamental shift in viewpoint. Music is language is an expression of music more than music is a expression of language. And I think you can see this in music cultures. So the music culture is kind of intrinsically linked to the language of a place. So I was talking to my very good friend Mihai, who's from Romania, and the language there is quite it's almost harsh. It has like very hard starts to words, a lot of sort of like all these sounds, whereas English, I mean, if you actually hear what I'm saying right now, it's like kind of quite a smooth line of delivery. Like there's little T's and S's, but but is one of the few words which has a sort of plosive start to it. So when you hear orchestras play from our two cultures, the English orchestras are usually like almost more smooth, and I can't help but think this is basically holistic. So the actual way your thoughts function, the way your emotions function, your reactions to things, comes in the same sort of sphere as language, as music, as everything. And I just thought that was quite interesting. Quite an interesting change in viewpoint. So we moved through, and these guys like Ravel, he was starting to understand music in sort of a similar way to what you intuitively probably do as a Western person of the 21st century. So Cage again, he kind of deconstructed it further. Let me have a quick look here. Here's some writing I was doing. I'm gonna I'll stay in the corner. I'm gonna go down to a little section I wrote on music. I might just read it out because it makes it made sense at the time. Where are we? That's not even oh, there we go. Let's give it a little zoom. So music, the decoration of everything. You can I might make this available to read if you want to, but it's kind of internal, so you can just pause it if you want. So what is music? We might differentiate music as an art form by ascribing the quality of intention to its creation. So sound only becomes music when a human intentionally produces it as music. 2 questions. What is intention and where does it end? Your mind might be most accurately described as directly occurring as a product of its prior conditions. So, how are your intentions produced? Surely, they must grow out of the path of your prior experience, the path your prior experiences have driven you down. Therefore, there is no difference in kind between the intentional playing of an instrument and absent-mindedly singing, and no difference in kind between a human singing and a bird singing, and therefore no difference in kind between a bird singing and a raindrop hitting the ground. I don't know if that quite makes sense to you, but it kind of makes sense to me. What's that? Define the line between music and meaningless noise. Oh, that excellent question. Here we go. I don't know if that does or doesn't make too much sense. So I'm trying to clarify it here. Sound is produced as a consequence of material vibrations, right? But our experience of music often seems different to pure sounds. Okay, where is the difference between the experience of music and the experience of sound? Sounds do not exist. Your reaction to a sound is essentially hardwired in the nervous system. If a loud sound occurs close to your ear, you will flinch as a product of what we call the acoustic startle reflex. How is this different to actively listening to a piece of music? Mechanically, the music is also passing through the brain rather than primarily the reflex system. But how is the experience of a sound different to the experience of listening to a sound or listening to music? Is it different? If all experience must first arise in the space of consciousness, which is kind of a logical precondition, which I'm gonna accept. You can come and fucking quarrel away if you want, but if all experience must first arise in the space of consciousness, there is no difference in kind. I mean, I'm not talking metaphysically here. Like, this is I'm talking about your experience, right? If you pay attention to it, there is no difference in kind between a sound and a song. Songs are sonically dense periods in time. Songs are sonically dense periods in time, which the hidden arms of culture and evolutionary biology and our self-referential frame have conditioned into an experience that we segment from the natural world of sound by naming it as music. The simple conclusion I can see for this is that all sounds are music, and all music is sound. They're like the same. It's like a two-way street, I suppose. So by removing the illusionary, egocentric view of our sense of self, again, you could debate illusionary, but I have, and I choose not to here, but illusionary egocentric view of our sense of self. Sounds are no less intentional than produced music. So sounds do not exist, and in their place is only music. I mean, this is a view you can take obviously two ways. Like, you could say there's no music, there's only sound, but I'm going to choose to see the let's call it benevolent, but you might say the beautiful, or like the good aspect. I'm gonna name all sounds music. It just makes more sense anyway. Where is the music? We might describe this music basically as a temporal art form. That is, an art form that exists in time where an object might more usually exist in space. As we also describe reality, it is implicit that to engage in something at a certain time, we must also exist in a certain place. However, we might understand this sentence. I will listen to Elsa Hewitt's Invisible Threads today in my house. Where is the music? On a record? Or in a file? Modern digital music also contains what we might call the illusion of space. What space is it exactly that is appearing in this illusion? It's kind of an illusion within an illusion at this point. We might say that music exists in the external world. We might say that music exists in the external world, and by being subject to these external signals, we are experiencing music. How to untangle? So it's like an illusion within an illusion, a bunch of stuff which just doesn't make sense at this point. It's a whole load of unanswered questions. We just check the chat. The hills are alive with the sound of music. It's more literal than we thought. That's so true. Oh man, I must re-listen to that now. With my English teacher in year 8, he wrote a musical for us to do called "The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Musically," which was certainly interesting. Anyway, how to untangle all of this? We might begin by saying music exists in the mind of the listener, when the brain converts a series of ratios and rhythms into an experience that, on average, we appreciate and describe as music. You see how that's like? I feel like that's the most logical description of the sort of average view. Like, if you're going to look at it from a neuroscientific perspective, it's the brain's coming first, and then we've sort of given sound quality, certain qualities, and called them music. But this raises a few questions. Who is the music being played to? If it is the brain that's creating the music from electrical impulses, who is in or behind the brain listening? Who, like, this is quite a fundamental question, but I feel like it deserves a second. Like, who is it in the brain? Is there a man in there? Is there a little guy? And that's me? Like, does the brain come first? Anyway, where does the music come from? Is the subjective experience of listening stored in the same place as the song, like on the vinyl, or somewhere else? If we assume the brain is converting signals into the qualia we describe as music, like the experience, which causes are outside of the brain and which are internal? Like, like, is it the vinyl that's playing the song to you, or are you making the song out of the vinyl? It's more questions. Can you see how our cultural view of mind as separate to reality is fundamentally unskilled? Like, all of these questions are being generated, and this doesn't just apply to music, of course. This applies to anything. Like, you could talk about like writing or thinking, like in the same way. It just opens up unanswerable questions, which are actually quite possible to answer. I want to check my mic's not peaking right here. Check. Oh dear. Ha! Check. I hope that's not distorting. Anyway, music does not exist. Music is the decoration of the continuum from which we are made. Whether intended or not, every composer in every piece, from Alice Coltrane to Wagner to the sound of a pigeon's flight, has been spraying graffiti made from the rich diversity in everything into the formless space within consciousness. From the experiential perspective, The question of who is listening is no longer important. There is no body listening. There is the space of consciousness, and there are the appearances within the space. There is the space of consciousness, and there are appearances within the space. Music, honestly, basically, and complexly, is an admission of this fundamental fact. Music is a statement. I am. It has to be. I am, not as a differentiated ego or soul. The music is the I that the I am refers to. When the music ends, so does the I. Having lived our life totally of the music, we might feel that we are of the silence. I don't know if that makes sense right now. Like, it makes a lot of sense. In some ways. Can you see, like, if we feel that we're of reality, of this material world, of the music, if reality ends, then we end. If we feel we're not of material reality and the music is something that starts and stops and plays, then we might feel that we're actually of the silence, like of the precondition of reality, of something that it's not tangible. So, how about this? You do not exist. Replace music with anything. Music is the decoration of everything. Everything is the decoration of everything. In my experience, this is where the definition of art begins. It is a recognition, not a description. Humans have wrongly recognized music in only a small subset of actions, creatures, only allowed artists to define a lucky few. Does it not make more sense to call everything music? You might ask, how is the vibration of a photon any less musical than a song? Sam, you might tell me apart from that, because I don't know even if a photon vibrates, but I was kind of just writing at this point. How is the vibration of a photon any less musical than a song? This question is confused. The question makes no sense. They are the same process. Consciousness is the same process. You are the same process. And then if you play Pink Floyd's Echoes, I really like what they did with this last verse here. I guess I'll read it. Cloudless every day you fall upon my waking eyes, inviting and inciting me to rise. And through the window in the wall come streaming in on sunlight wings 1,000,000 bright ambassadors of morning. And no one sings me lullabies, and no one makes me close my eyes. So I throw the windows wide and call to you across the sky. There we go. If you want to diagnose somebody for schizophrenia, one of the first things you ask is, do they think song lyrics are communicating to them personally? So, I hope to have raised some real some real discomforts right now. There's a couple other song lyrics that I thought pick it up quite nicely. I think Tom York, of course, in Dawn Chorus, if you could do it all again, this time with style. Some guy on Genius, when he was analyzing the lyrics, compared it to Bukowski's poem, which is about Bukowski basically having... I can't even remember now. He just... it's not something that I'm trying to relate to. I don't think it's right. I don't think... it's not style in that capacity. It's style like decoration. Like, if I'm going to pick up a cup, I'm going to do it in a like beautifully intentional way, because what is the point of picking up the cup? Like, what is the point of drinking water, like satisfying these biological urges, if you're not going to do it in a stylish way? Like, that's what makes it that's what removes the suffering from everything, in my experience. So let's see what we got. Oh damn. Oh damn. Yo, Henry wants a shout out. Hello, Henry. Twitch Prime. Yeah, I'd love you to give me Twitch Prime on this YouTube stream. That would be incredible. Sam, you say well, kind of. I would take it up with me, man, because I would love to hear your perspective. Anyhow, how long have I been talking? Oh damn, we're almost at an hour now. Things are starting to look up. You know, pulling some religious texts. You wanna 10 to 8 on a Tuesday. You wanna start looking at hymns. That's what you want. That's what you don't want. That's what you want though. Okay, things got heavy. Let me hear myself. Check. 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Things got pretty heavy there, and I can hear myself. That's the voice in my head. Okay, this goes on for miles, but we're not gonna get into that now. I think what we should get into is a drum and bass project I am currently working on. Let's see if it works. Let's see, I'm gonna avoid that song. This one's quite fun. I went into B4. Oh, goodbye, Henry. I'm having great fun. Have a good dinner. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so there's a couple of different synths. I actually am really liking ES1. Check this out. It's like naturally quite analog. It's quite fat. So the possibilities there are endless. Also, Valhalla, Jamie, shout outs to Jamie. He showed me the Horsehead preset, which sounds amazing. I'll get into that another time maybe. But I was making some real basses on the prologue, which was fantastic. Doing especially bass on an analog synth is I find it really difficult because you've got to be so tight. Obviously you could send MIDI to the synth, but I want to get the feel. You've got to get the performance so tight each time, otherwise things just fall apart. Like, it starts to sound a bit dead. And obviously the aliveness aspect is it's like the perfect balance of getting things wrong or getting things slightly out of time. So I'm still working on that, and hopefully it's going to come across at this point. What else? Oh, I had some failure with the MIDI instrument here, so I've had to put my gain stage like 48 decibels of gain, of like pre-gain, into the plugins, and then another 5 decibels of gain just to make this kit sound at the just at regular volume. And this just happened, like its volume just decreased. It was being perfectly normal, and then I changed like one MIDI region, I dragged it, and then the instrument just went. So if anybody knows their way around Logic and knows precisely what went wrong there, I'd love to hear about it, because I have no idea. Okay, I think I might just let this thing play out and limit it. Make sure it's not gonna start distorting. This is kind of an intro, just for reference. you go. Bit of D&B. I love a project as the stage. There's a near infinite number of directions it could go. I might have to quit Logic because my sound card is about to combust. That's like that. Yeah, I love being in this stage because I literally made that yesterday. So I'm not attached to any of it yet. So it could go a billion different ways, which is fun. I'm gonna go soon, which is it's because it's dinner time, because it's 8 and I haven't eaten since 12, so I'm gonna get some dinner. I think I'm gonna make something fun. Anyway, I think I'll just let you know what I'm getting up to at the moment. The most exciting thing I can think of is to not close this window. I've got some new music coming out. Let me just find it. I still lose it. I have some new music coming out. It's coming out on the 21st, if I'm remembering right. And here's the master. Here it is. Can you see that? Yeah. Here's the master. It's going to be out on all kinds of platforms. I've made a little site for it here, so you can, not this one, that's Beatscapes, it's Hokusai Ripples. So you can pre-save it here on the UNDXCU website. But I've put up a little bit of info about it, some pictures that are in the cover, some listening directions if you want to be directed of how to listen to music. And there's some little bits about each track. I might just give it a little intro if I play the track. So here's a snippet of track 1, which I made entirely using the Juno 66, which is a vintage synth we have in B4. That's all you're getting. Might skip it though. What might you hear? Anything exciting? Ooh, ooh. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, ooh. Where could it go? Where could it go? How exciting. What else is cool with this one? I'm gonna play this track here, which I made using Arbor's sample pack, and I'm hoping he'll let me use his name in the featured artist section, because it's would be one of my life's greatest achievements to have made a track featuring Arbor. So I'll play a little bit of it.
Yo, 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 yo.
There we go. As the track disintegrates, I will say goodbye, and see you soon. Enjoy. Have a good one. Cheers and gone. Yeah. No. Yeah. How do I end this thing? I think it's... No, that's not it. Of course.